Good afternoon, everybody. Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
That's the best you can do. Louder. Louder.
Afternoon.
There we go.
Yes, good afternoon. This is the British Virgin Islands Football Association. We're here again to let the public know about the opening of the 2016-2017 Schools League. As in the past, the Schools League will start with a march through Road Town on Wednesday, the 12th of October, commencing at 3:30 p.m. We will march through Road Town to the A.O. Shirley Recreation Ground, where there will be an opening ceremony. And normally we're blessed with the presence of senior government ministers, so we hope that'll happen again. But before I go any further, I'd like to introduce those people that are at the top table with me. On my right-hand side, we have Mr. Avenel Clarkey Morton. He's the executive member responsible for youth. Next to him, we have Miss Cassandra Gregg, Youth Development Officer for the primary schools. And next to Cassandra, we have Mr. Avondale Williams, a Youth Development Officer for the secondary schools, and also, of course, the national coach of the British Virgin Islands male football teams. And then to my left, one of the most important people from our sponsors, BDO, Mr. Ryan Jaluk. And to his left, the General Secretary of the British Virgin Islands Football Association, Mr. Paul Hewlett. Welcome, everybody, and it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, this year, as before, we've got teams from the major islands, all of the major islands, Tortola, Virgin Gorda, Anegada, and Jos van Dijk. Not necessarily in that order. In terms of the number of teams, in the primary schools, we have 42 teams. We have 11 at under 7, 14 at under 9, 12 at under 12, 5 at under 14, and 5 men, 5 women in the open schools. So altogether that's 52. In terms of numbers, we continue to grow. So we started in 2011 with 250 young people, and we're around about 1,000 now and seem to have plateaued out at that number. Now, in terms of the actual organisation this year, there is a change in that BDO have been the sponsors of the Schools League since 2012. And then 2 years ago, when the number of teams had grown dramatically, we split between primary and secondary. So BDO continued to be the prime sponsor for the primary schools. But what we've done this year is we have opened it up to any other businesses that wish to sponsor school teams. So it's a work in progress at the present time, but I could just mention outfits like Auckland Construction, Ogier's, National Bank, Eustatia Island, Harney's, and we have a number of others that have made commitments, but they haven't been allocated a team yet. So the public should know that that it is an opportunity for them to sponsor either a primary school team or a secondary school team. The sponsorship for a primary school team is $750 per team. That pays for their uniform. And for secondary schools, because there's additional numbers in secondary schools, it's $1,000 per team. In fact, I think most of our secondary school teams have gone, but there still is opportunity to sponsor there. So obviously we're very excited to get it going again. And our anticipation is that, all being well, the finals of the Schools League will be held in the new stadium at East End I think it's on the 22nd? 24th of February 2017. So that will obviously be an exciting time for us in the BVIFA, as it will be a major step in our dream to get that stadium completed And also it'll be the first time that people here, boys, girls, men, women, will have had the opportunity to play on a proper football pitch with a very, very good surface. So we anticipate that that's going to really help the development of football in the British Virgin Islands. So at this particular point, I think I'd like to invite Mr. Avondale Morton, the executive member responsible for youth, to say a few words about his hopes for this year.
Good afternoon to each and everyone. It's a pleasure that I can stand here before you this afternoon and give you the outline of the British Virgin Islands Youth Football Open Ceremony and Program for 2016-2017. On Wednesday the 12th, our march past begin at 3 o'clock from Pusser's parking lot to the A.O. Shirley Recreation Ground. Comments after that, we have the speakers, the governor, the ministers, and the sponsors to give a short speech. And after that, we go into the first game of our season with Anegada girls team versus the Seventh-day Adventist girls team, because there's some issues with them playing on Saturday, so we have to do it in that manner. Also, we expect to have some jump corps, maybe some other little party favors going on in the match pass to make it more exciting this year. From Virgin Garda, from Anegada, the boat, Speedy's boat leave Anegada at 12 o'clock to Virgin Garda 1 o'clock, and pick up Virgin Garda school children from 1:30 to Rotong. So the general public are asked to take note that that's the ferry schedule for Anegada and Virgin Garda. So also during this time, I hope that everybody take the opportunity and make this year BDO, along with the other sponsor, tournament a success. And I must say thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Morton. So I think I'd like our youth development officers to say a word. They normally have their fingers to the pulse and know exactly what's going on, and maybe they can tell us a little bit about who they rate as the favourites for the year. So, Cassandra, over to you at primary.
Good afternoon. I honestly don't have a favourite with everyone, but welcome again to the BDO and the other sponsors for the Primary School League. I must say I'm very delighted that BDO is on board again. Thank you, BDO. We as parents and coaches, we're gonna work together to see that all the league games go along good. We'll be using the Altius Catley field from Monday to Thursday for the under 7, and we'll be using the Bargers Bay field for the U9 and the U12. Also, we'll be using Virgin Garda mainly on Saturdays to accommodate Anegada. So most of the schools, you would find at least one team in each zone who is zoned with Anegada. You'll be making a trip to Virgin Garda one Saturday out of the whole league. I must say thank you, parents. Without you, this couldn't be impossible, because without the kids, we cannot have football. And the kids are being out in the numbers. There are still some kids who didn't get the time to do after school practice as yet, because I'm a bit low on staff for now, but we're gonna get it all sorted out. Thank you again, and welcome to the big league.
I must say good afternoon all. Welcome again to the Bvif Football Association School League. Very much pleased with the sponsors have come on board. I must say thank you all very much. You guys have shown very much interest in our youths, and hopefully we can continue to grow a partnership throughout the developing our youths. I would say congratulations to the champion teams of last year, and hopefully they can sustain their performance for 2016-2017 throughout the season. We have some new players coming in from the primary school, and hopefully they can also step up the game as to the bigger guys. Hopefully you guys can, St. George's, Elmo Stout, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Brigada Flax, and the Garda, Cedar International. I must say, I wish you all the best for the 2016-2017 season. We're going to try our best to do as much as possible to make it fair and good enough excited for you all to enjoy. So I should say thanks again, and we'll see you soon on the 12th for the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Tess and Evan. Evan, I think I'm right in saying that in the secondary, all the schools play each other twice. Is that right?
Yes. Because of the small amount of high school that we have in the territory, actually, in order for the kids them to get as much game, we're going to try our best to double the games. So we're going to put it in a way that they can play most like on a home and away basis, so they can have as much game as possible. We are trying our best for them to play as much as possible because it helps them also to develop much more. So hopefully we can have a very long season this 2016-2017, and hopefully on forward we can have more on the pitch.
Yes, thank you, Evan. Also, the public should be aware that Mr. Williams last year got the National Youth League going, so that was for boys that have come out, boys and girls that have come out of the high school, and we actually set up a Bvif Football Association Youth League, and I think that was done by district. That's yes. Correct? Yeah. So there was West End,
the Western Tigers, the Roton FC, the Valley, and Northern.
Right, so we've tried to regionalise it. So our hope is that will grow. So once the school league ends, then we will move into the youth league. And the good thing about that, it was both boys and girls. Another small change, but an important change, is that in the past, in secondary, we've gone straight to under 15. Well, this year we've moved it down to under 14. And you heard Mr. Williams say there's a lot of new players that have come into the high schools from primary this year, and it's been a challenge for us to keep young people in the sport once they leave primary, so we're gaining some success there. So we've reduced the age of the team to under 14 so that youngsters coming from primary into secondary will get a better opportunity, or more opportunity rather, to play. Now, as I said, these kind of tournaments at these kind of numbers, this kind of level, is impossible without sponsors. And we're pleased this afternoon to have with us Mr. Ryan Juluk, Director of BDO, and we'll ask Ryan to say a few words. I think you're quite used to this now.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Once again, BDO is extremely proud to be the title sponsor for the BDO Primary Schools Football League. This is our fifth year now involved in this, and every year it gets more and more exciting. Every year, new students come in and show their improvement in the sport. I guess one important thing that we like to see as sponsors, and certainly I know the FA likes to see from the development of the sport, is the number of students going on into the secondary school and continuing the sport, because that's really where the longevity of the sport really is, and where it's going to gain ground. So BDO is extremely happy and excited on that. I mean, having 42 teams this year in primary, which is close to the number we had last year, starting or having over 1,000 students in overall playing football and competitive football here, and that doesn't include the National League that we have now. It really does show that in a very short period of time, with dedication from the BVIFA, and certainly hats off to what they've been doing, but also on what's possible from sponsorship level and from you, the students, on showing the competitive nature of it and the enjoyment in football. It really is about having fun. Yes, winning is important, but when we get to see all the children having a chance to play, all the children having smiles on their faces, all of them showing excitement and proper sportsmanship, that's really what it is all about. And once again, we're very proud to be involved with that. I do, once again, and I think I say this every year, do urge the parents as well. They've done a tremendous job, but we'd like to see a lot more parents out to the games. We do see them dropping the students, the children off and the players off. But do stay behind and watch your children play. Be proud of what they're achieving, what they're accomplishing, and how much they're growing. So I do want to throw that out there once again, just to make sure that you do show your support for the schools football league again this year, and we hope once again that it will be a safe and fun league for all the students. We haven't, knock on wood, we haven't had any major incidents up until this point in time in terms of injuries. So we hope that continues. And we look forward once again to seeing all of these players out in the fields, all of these BDO shirts, and all of the other companies as well, all of the other sponsors, to see their businesses coming out and supporting. It is a great testament to the league when you have so many other businesses who want to throw in their support for the teams, and we hope that does continue. I know Andy's already spoken about that. To come out and support a team, get your brand out there, but also show your support to the growth in youth football. It's all about the development of our youth, the importance of keeping youth off the street, and football is a great way to do that. So once again, BDO is happy and excited to be the title sponsor of the BDO Primary Schools League again this year, and we hope to continue that well into the future. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Ryan. And it was BDO's willingness to put money in back in 2012 in substantial sums that provided the seed for us to get this program really up and running and out there in the public eye. And I think we're all aware that from a health perspective, playing active sport, whether it's soccer or whether it's basketball, whether it's volleyball, whatever it is, it's very, very important for our young people to get involved in sport at an early age so that they can continue it as they get older, and then they will have less health problems. And obviously for us as a population, that's very, very important, where we now have NHI and we all have to contribute towards it. We want to keep our health costs down. So in winding up, before I wind up, I would just like to say thank you, not only to my executive represented by Mr. Morton here, but also the coaches, Cass and Avondale. Well done, continue the good work. And to all the part-time coaches out there, we use, I think, around about 18 to 20 part-time coaches. We also do put coaches into, I think it's 4 primary schools on Tortola and 6 primary schools in Virgin Gorda to actually assist with their PE lessons. So we are actively involved, and we rely very much on our part-time coaches to help us with that. And that was a good point that Ryan made about parents. It's really, really important for parents to show children that they're interested in what they're doing and to be there to support them. But you do need to realize that you can't win every game. But do be there to support your young people. And also we should mention the youth committee, I think. There's a volunteer youth committee that meets regularly, and I see a couple of representatives out there in the audience. So Just a reminder, the BVI FA's 2016-17 Schools League will begin on the 12th of October with a march from the Road Town Ferry Dock to the A.O. Shirley Recreation Ground. It should start at 3:30 p.m. and the opening ceremonies will be at 4:30. And then the league games will follow in the days shortly thereafter. So at this particular point, I'd like to say thank you to everybody for coming. And we would invite any questions that there are from the media if you have questions. Yes, sir.
Since the history of the league, what have you seen in terms of, say, high school players filtering into teams and on national teams?
The process has started in that a number of the men's Premier League teams now have players that were students that have moved out of secondary school into the men's league. There are also several that are still at school that are actually acting as substitutes for the men's team. So this is not a short-term process. This is a medium to long-term process. We sent an under-17 team recently to Suriname. They won their first game 1-0 against the Bahamas, then had two close games against Suriname, a very strong team, and also against the Bahamas. So we are seeing progress. We're well aware that it's tough for a youngster coming out of school to go straight into our men's national league where the standard of competition has improved. So with Avondale's help, we are looking at probably getting an under-21 league going in the near future to try and cater for them so that they don't get overlooked from the actual men's league teams.
Also, you spoke about the opening of your stadium. How long do you expect the work, or when do you expect the work to actually start, and when do you expect it to be completed?
The work on the pitch and the lighting and the irrigation starts on October 17th, which is a Monday. We actually had the pitch consultants down here the week before last, measuring up and going through the preliminary formalities. We've been given a schedule which shows that weather permitting, we've managed to dodge Hurricane Matthew, which is heading towards Cuba at the moment. Weather permitting, we anticipate being on the field in early February.
Any other questions? Alan, sorry, can you just confirm the format for the high school leagues in terms of, is it the league or a knockout cup attached, or what's the overall plan in terms of declaring the champions?
Well, actually, we have moved the format. We're gonna stay with a league format, so that the team with the most points at the end of the tournament may win the league. Actually, when the league is over, we are trying to have a cup competition. Hopefully, that will take place at the new stadium, as the president said. So hopefully by February, we may have a league cup with the top 4 schools into a league cup.
Boys and girls?
Boys and girls.
When is the high school segment expected to convene?
Well, the high school, we are trying to basically finish it at the same time at the primary school, so we can have everything under one umbrella, and we can have both presentation at the same time, so all kids can feel welcome and present with the support. So hopefully that's the reason why, because of the least amount of high school we have, we are trying to have a 2-time play competition in terms of you play this one school twice.
And how many schools then are going to be involved?
Well, the all 5 high schools as normal. Last year we have the 5 high schools, and again this year we have the same 5 high schools. So that's included Claudia Cricket in Virgin Garda. They have presented an all girls teams. So that's also part of the high school league also.
So the exact starting date, November or later in October?
No, everything starts on the 12th within March, and then the following week will begins our school league games, which is gonna take place. We're expecting games to be on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, because we have to give them time also to get into their schoolwork. So hopefully on Wednesday we have the U15 play, Thursday we may have the ladies play, and Fridays we may have the open boys play.
And games will be played where?
At the Ewoshali, and also in Virgin Gada, because of the Anegada boat schedule. So we'll transport Anegada high school girls to Virgin Gada while we transport the Bvif high school girls into Virgin Gada so that they can have the match on Saturdays.
Thank you, Avondale. I see we've got a budding journalist over there from Althea Scatliff Primary School. He has a question for us.
Before somebody get injured.
Yes, Clarky?
Well, if somebody get injured, I expect that the BVA Association will also help along with the NHI. So you'll be covered anyhow. And you have the after-school insurance. The school insurance that you join already, so you'll be covered and taken care of.
There'll be somebody.
And also we'll have people at the games to make sure anything happen to you, you are being cheated at the same time. Satisfied? Okay.
Can football players like us get scholarships?
There are scholarships available. At the present time, I think we have 2 boys away and 1 to go next summer. And we've recently had 3 girls away and 3 boys away. So our policy is to provide partial scholarships to young people that have achieved academically, which is very important. And we do restrict it to British Virgin Islanders and belongers. We also need to look at the college that you want to go to. So the college that you want to go to has a level of football that we recognise and we think will be a significant improvement. One of the things we're seeing now is more young people are actually now looking to go to the United Kingdom rather than the US, which from a football point of view is very good because youth football is very well organised in the UK and of a high standard. So work hard, get your grades and make an application, okay?
Following up on that, where are these people going? What type of schools are they going? I mean, in the media, I don't see anything on them, and I always looking to promote what young people are doing. So I'd be like to, be able to follow up on what is happening with them.
Yeah, we normally, when they're back, we'd normally do something with them from a public perspective point of view. When the national team is playing, for example, we brought Troy Caesar home from college and Chris Telemark home from college. And then we have people like Trevor Peters and Joel Foy that are here now that play regularly. Gladstone Burke, who's in the United Kingdom, was with the national team in Dominica as well. So we try and do as much with them when they're home.
No, but I mean, from the perspective of if they are getting any game time in a college or university, to me that's the most important time to at least highlight what is happening with them, because right now I'm covering volleyball for one of our players abroad, and I would like to have a football player, we're using the technology, using WhatsApp, get a voice note and have his or her voice on radio. That's what I mean.
Okay, Troy Caesar, he gets regular start for the college that he goes to.
Andrew College.
Andrew College.
Andrew College in Atlanta.
Okay, but when is he playing? When is the game? Can I get a contact with him that I can make sure the public knows he's out there. He's scored a goal, he was in the game. Because, I mean, following up on what the youngster asked, that, at least in the promotion, helps to show what is happening with football at the collegiate level.
Okay, what we as the executive can do and the office staff is that you can come in and check on the, Charlie, Paul Hewlett, Julian Aluk, and get the information, the highlights, the dates, and what time he plays. Because it's on Facebook, all the time it's on Facebook, but maybe you're not getting the information, but the office can supply you with that information.
Is it possible that we can hook up with him in terms of getting a voice note to get his internal perspective of being able to play with that team?
Sure, that's possible.
To me, that's most important. His voice going on the radio.
That's possible. Okay. Also, point of after you deal with the office staff, I think Avon have a lot of information and get in contact with the coach that usually coaches him. So you can get that information tomorrow if you want, and just send it out to the media. So today too, it doesn't matter. Today, right after the press conference.
Yeah, Avondale is in touch with all of the national team players that are away through electronic means, I think, Avondale, right? So he has up-to-date information on all of them.
I was just going to ask, as it stands, where scholarships are only offered to persons who are Bvif analysts and belongers, how does the association deal with a situation where your top athlete is neither of them?
It's a great question. Unfortunately, that's not in our hands. So, because we are guided by the laws of the nation. So whereas we want that player to play for the British Virgin Islands and to represent us, but unfortunately, because of the laws of the land and because of the laws of FIFA, our hands are tied, because that player has to be a British Virgin Island, otherwise he can't go on the field. So, in other words, would you invest into somebody from Grenada, if you're a Jamaican, to play for the Jamaican national team when you play for Grenada? So, exactly.
Is the association rallying behind the government to rectify that one?
We have been for quite a while now. We have been. It's actually, that's the fight that we're having now. Obviously, that is in our interest. But at this point in time, our hands are very tied. But it is an ongoing concern of the president. He has actually flown to Miami just to be with the CONCACAF president and officials to speak about it. He sat with the premier to discuss it more than once. We have ongoing discussions on this. So it is certainly one of the top priorities, and one of the top priorities I know personally of the president, to rectify that. But the power is not in our hands. We can only fight the fight, but we can't make that decision.
So at this point, the response from the government is promising?
It's ongoing. It's ongoing. We are hoping it's very promising, because countries like Anguilla, they just go ahead and do what they have to do. They've spoken to their president's leaders, to their country leaders, and gotten things done. We here in the BVI are still trying to rectify that.
So would you say there are a lot of athletes here in BVI who aren't eligible who you would like to represent the BVI but aren't eligible?
Without a doubt, and which is why we are so actively working hard on our youth, because the youth are the future of tomorrow, and most of them actually hold a BVI passport. So by the next generation comes, this won't be as big a challenge. So in 10 years' time, we probably won't even be having this conversation. But as it stands presently, things are quite tight for us. But we're trying, and I know the president is trying everything that he can to get it rectified.
Yeah, just to take up on that, at the present time, only a UK passport holder can represent the British Virgin Islands at national men's, women's level, and all of the age groups going down. So a problem that we have is we have a good number of belongers with actual belonger status that don't have a British passport. So that situation's been taken up by a group of the dependent territories. That's ourselves, Turks and Caicos, Anguilla, Montserrat, and Bermuda to see if we can get some concessions out of FIFA. The last that I'd heard, the possibility was that anybody that's born in the territory will have an opportunity to play for the British Virgin Islands, whether they have a BVI passport or British passport, or whether they belong. But that's in the stage of negotiation right now.
And at the under 17 or under 20 level, don't they allow you to utilize somebody like that?
No, at all levels they have to be a British passport holder.
No, but I know in track and field, like some of our competitions, we are allowed to.
No, not with FIFA. It's the same as, I don't know if it's with the Olympics, but it's the same with FIFA. It doesn't matter what age group, if it's a FIFA competition, they have to have a British passport. I mean, one of the things we're going to be doing once the field is available is to be holding invitationals here in the BVI. That's a commitment we made to the East End community when we were proposing to partner with the government in this project. When we do that, it'll be probably initially in the Leeward Islands only, and that will open the opportunity, because that's not a FIFA competition, that's a regional competition, then belongers would be able to represent us. Any other questions?
Varsity league that goes on in the Virgin Islands. If the BVI want to participate in that, would they could help us in sponsorship to participate?
Yeah. That league that you're talking about in St. Thomas, we are in the process of going to that. That's where we're going to make sure everybody is taken care of to go to the varsity league. It's the under 16 open and everything. But automatically, I think they wanted one school, but we're going to work out the logistics and go to it. But we'll help you.
That's in April?
Varsity.
March, April.
Yeah, and that's in March, April?
April.
Yeah. You're sure to go, so no problem.
All right.
Okay, we'd like to thank everybody for coming. I think, Ryan, I'm not going to let you leave without passing that envelope over that you have there. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Pleasure, as always.